Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Shri Gaura Hari ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you for this opportunity to render some service to the Vaishnavas. It's been a while since I've done this, so forgive me if I'm a bit nervous today. Disclaimer, there was I feel a mistake in advertising. It was said that there would be a special class. I don't know what that means at all. I can just try and give a class. I don't know about a special one. But what would make it special is before I speak, I always ask the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas that are here, and if anyone is listening online, please allow me to say something that is in line with what Srila Prabhupada presents us, what the Acharyas present. It is pleasing, and may it be pleasing to the heart and mind of all the Vaishnavas. That would be a special class. Okay, so today is the very auspicious, celebration of Sri Govardhan Puja. Govardhan Hill is very special to many, many devotees around the world. We worship him through parikram, through, with permission, taking one of the little rocks from him and worshipping as Krishna. but it's a very special day for all Vaishnavas. And it's a very beautiful pastime. I will speak a little, maybe you could say the beginning half of the pastime. But I will start with a prayer that is written by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Some of you may recognize it. He has written 2 ashtakams in glorification of Govardhan hill. I will just say one verse from one of them. Nijapati pujatanta chatra bhavam prapadya pratihata mata trishto tanda devendra garva atula pratula shaila shreni bhupa priyame nijana katane vasa dehi govardhanatvam. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is saying that, O Govardhan, O King of all incomparably great mountains, O hill that became an umbrella with the arm of your own Lord as the handle, and then destroyed the pride of the king of the Devas, Indra, who was madly attacking with raised weapons, please grant me a residence near you who are so very dear to me. So, if we read the pastime of Govardhan hill, you see that, okay, chronologically, if you look at it, right before this, Krishna was interacting with the wives of the Brahmanas. Before that, he was stealing the clothes of the gopis, right? Before that, it was the gopis' song of separation when they hear Krishna's flute. Before that, it's this beautiful description of autumn. Before that, Balaram kills Pralambasura. Oh, and there's a forest fire as well there. So Krishna hasn't actually killed a demon for a while. And I feel, I'm taking some creative license, I feel that he's getting a bit restless now, because we know Bhakti Chaitanya Swami says that Krishna kills, I think, 2 demons a day, before lunch and after lunch, right? He has to work up an appetite and then he has to work off the prasadam that Madhya Yashoda has made. So he hasn't had any action for a while. He's getting a little restless, he's fidgety. So he wakes up one day and, maybe he's thinking, what can I do today? So he wakes up and he goes outside, and Krishna is 7 years old at the time of Govardhan Puja. So he goes out and he sees, the cowherd men are very busy. Everyone is running around. He tries to get someone's attention. Everyone just zooms past. And he's a little 7-year-old boy. No one's going to see you if they're really busy. You're down there. Everyone's just around you carrying things. Out of the way, move, Krishna, stay one side. You're going to get trampled, Everyone's so busy and he's looking around and he's wondering what's happening. Because it seems like everyone's preparing for something really big and he wants to know why, he's a little 7-year-old boy. He's really curious about what's happening. So he finds Nanda Maharaj and he asks him, of course, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he knows what's happening. But he is feeling restless and he wants to do something. He wants to tease the cowherd men. He wants to stir something up now. So he comes. And he says, Baba, what is happening? And if you've ever had a conversation with a little kid, the questions that they ask are just endless, right? So he says, Baba, what's happening? Is it a festival? Are we getting ready for a festival? What's the point of this festival? Is it important? For who is it? How are we going to do it? Do we typically do this? Is it something we normally do? Right? And then 7-year-old kids or children in general, they like to repeat things they hear. That's why you have to be very careful about what you say around children, right? Because they just repeat things. So obviously this is Vrindavan. It's the spiritual world. Only topics that are discussed there are, Krishna, his pastimes, and, Vedic literature, things like that. So whatever Krishna is hearing is philosophy. So he decides he starts using these one-liners to try and get more information out of Nanda Maharaj, right? So he says, Baba, you should tell me, right? Saintly people, they don't keep secrets. They see everyone as equal. So please tell me I'm also equal here. Share with me what's happening. I want to know. Baba, people do so many things in the world, but if they know what they're doing, that means they're really successful. If they don't know, then they're not successful. Then they're going to fail. So what he's actually saying is, by saying that successful people know the point of what they're doing, he's bringing his first challenge to Nanda Maharaj, that we should not blindly follow tradition that we have no understanding of. If we're doing something, if we're performing something, we need to know exactly why it is that we're doing this. Not just because so-and-so does it, so we're going to do it. It's been done for generations, so we just carry on. No, I'm not going to be a blind follower of tradition. So tell me, right? Explain to me, what is it? Is it something from scripture, Baba, or is it some social custom that we're just doing? Please explain, right? So all the cowherd men are listening, and they're very, very amused by all of Krishna's questions. So Nanda Maharaj replies, he says, okay, Krishna, we are going to worship Indra. Indra is the king of rain, okay? So we are Vrajbasis, we are Vaishyas. We work in agriculture. Rainwater is very important to us, right? So the rainwater comes from clouds. And these clouds, they are under the directive of King Indra. And it is due to these clouds that we are sustained and we are happy. Nanda Maharaj is saying it's because of the clouds that we are sustained and happy, right? And Krishna, it's not just us who do this. Many people do this type of puja, right? A lot of people do this worship. So don't worry, it's based on some very, very sound tradition, okay? It's been done for a while. So remember how I was saying that children, they like to listen to things and repeat. So this is where Krishna, he starts to tease Nanda Maharaj, but he uses philosophy, because these are the things that are spoken in Vrindavan. This is what he's hearing. So he uses a type of philosophy called karma mimamsa. Karma mimamsa is basically a type of atheism, but they believe in reincarnation, right? So basically, they believe, karma mimamsa philosophy believes that they believe in the subtle laws of nature, and basically, as you sow, so shall you reap, basically, is karma mimamsa in a very simplistic way, right? And in the purport, I think this one is the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So the commentary is given that Krishna, he's now starting, to stir things up. And he didn't want to just insult Indra. That wasn't his thing, just to say one or two things about Indra. But he wanted to knock Indra down from his mountain of pride. Right? Not just insult him, but literally knock him down to a more realistic way of thinking. So Krishna, he's listening to Nanda Maharaj and he says, Baba, actually, I was thinking that it's due to karma that a living entity is born, right? We have a specific type of karma and we're born in a certain way. So it's due to karma that we are born, but it's also due to karma that we die. The way a living entity lives their life, they accumulate a certain type of karma and they die in a certain way, right? So that's due to karma, right? A living entity's happiness is based on karma. Their sadness is based on karma, right? Everything they get is based on karma. Their security, their happiness, their sadness, it's all due to karma. You can't really argue with that. It sounds pretty solid. Okay. And okay, Baba, okay, I'm listening to you. So say there is a supreme controller, right? Say there is someone who controls everything. And let's say he does award people things based on the results of their actions, right? Say there's someone, he does that. But even that is based on how a person acts. The ability to award something is based on what you're doing. So even karma reigns supreme over that, right? Because how can some supreme controller, How can he bless or bestow someone something unless they have done something to earn it? Right? How can that be, Baba? Right? So people have to experience their karma. They have to go through the consequences of their actions. I don't think that Indra can change a person's destiny, Baba. Their karma is their karma, and Indra can't change that, right? So why should we worship Indra if he can't change our destiny? Why should we worship him, right? This whole universe is based on conditioning. This whole universe is based on conditioning, and Baba, we have to follow our conditioning. We have to. We don't have a choice. We have to follow our conditioning, right? And karma does this, Baba. It makes us accept things. We have to give up things. You know, so it seems like karma can be your friend, karma can be your enemy, karma can be your guru, karma can even be your Lord. So I think, Baba, we should just worship the work we do, because that seems to be the defining factor of everything here. What we do gives us karma, and that drives our life forward in a specific way. So we should just worship the work we do, right? I think karma should be, or our work should become our worshipable deity. We have this concept called Ishtadev in Bhakti, right? The worshipable Lord in the heart. So I think, Baba, what we do as Vaishyas should be our worshipable deity, right? Because think about it, Baba, this is sustaining us, right? The work we do sustains us. So does it make sense that if one thing is sustaining us, we take shelter of someone else? No, that doesn't make sense at all. Because everything in this world is governed by the three modes of nature. Right? So, because of that, passion is the mode of nature that is responsible for creation. Right? So, if passion is responsible for the mode of creation, that means it is passion which drives the clouds to give us rainwater. Right? So what does Indra have to do with that? Nothing. So why are we worshipping him, Baba? We are forest dwellers, Krishna tells Nanda Maharaj, right? So because we are forest dwellers, here's what I think we should do. We should perform a sacrifice for the cows, for the brahmanas, and for Govardhan hill. Because these are the things that sustain us as Rajbasis, right? Let us arrange a very big festival. No, you already started, so all these things you have here, we'll just use that. It's fine. Don't worry about Indra. Let's just use everything we have here. And you know what? Let us call all the brahmanas in Vrindavan. Let them do a very, very elaborate fire sacrifice. And then let's feed them very nicely. When we feed the brahmanas, we'll feed everyone else. Krishna even says the dogs and the dog eaters. There's even dog eaters in Vrindavan, right? We'll feed everyone else. Then we'll feed the cows very, very nice grass. Then everyone go home, put on your finest clothes, just everything that's the best in your closet, put it on, and then let's all come back and let's take a walk. Let's circumambulate Govardhan hill, all the cows and all the brahmanas. I think we need to do that because they are what sustains us, right? And I have no doubt, Baba, that this will be so pleasing to the Lord, to the brahmanas, to the cows, to the hills. But most of all, Baba, the most important thing, I will be very happy if we do this. So please, let's do this, okay? And, of course, as Krishna always does, he charmed everyone. And they said, okay, we'll listen to you, let's do this. And we know as the pastime continues, that's what they did. They had a very big fire sacrifice, all the brahmanas came, everyone was fed, everyone was happy, all these bhoga offerings were prepared, they circumambulated Govardhan hill, and they offered this to Govardhan hill. And then Krishna assumes a form, a very big form, and that form says that I am Govardhan hill, and he accepts all of the offerings, right? And everyone bows down and everyone's happy, except for one person, Indra, right? And the thing is, Indra wasn't just upset. He wasn't just angry. He was enraged. He was furious about this, because if Nanda Maharaj is saying that, this is a very sound tradition, that means that this worship of Indra has been going on for quite some time, possibly some generations. And suddenly to wake up one day and you've been completely sidelined? I mean, in a way, maybe you can relate to Indra, Have you ever had some interaction with someone and you've been completely sidelined or forgotten or pushed aside? You don't feel very nice. And someone of Indra's caliber, I don't think he took very lightly to that, right? To being put aside or being minimized in that way. So what does he do? He attacks Vrindavan, right? He calls the Samvartika clouds. These are the clouds that only come out when the universe needs to be completely destroyed. Like, Indra is mad, guys. To call, the clouds that are meant for the destruction of the entire universe to one little village. Right? So he sends lightning, he sends thunder, he sends gale winds, he sends hailstones, everything. The Bhagavatam describes that the rain was as thick as columns. And I mean, here in Durban, we've had our experience of rain, and the damage that it can do. So we can only imagine what Indra had sent to Vrindavan, right? It's described in the Bhagavatam that when the rain came, you couldn't distinguish between high ground and low ground. Everything was just the same. So imagine, like, the temple is on a hill, the tent is down there, this is high ground and low ground, you can't tell the difference. Everything is just that much of flooding, right? So everyone starts panicking because they're like, why did we listen to this little guy? Look what's happening. Oh, what are we going to do? We've upset Indra now. Like, why did we do this? But still, everyone turns to Krishna. And everyone just looks at him and they say, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaga. Oh Krishna, oh most fortunate one, please save us from the wrath of Indra. Please save us from the wrath of Indra. And that is, you could say, my central point for today's class, that Krishna doesn't promise us a life with no rain. He doesn't make that, that there'll be absolute smooth sailing, nothing will be wrong, everything will be sublime. Krishna doesn't say that there's no trouble in the material world. But what Krishna does promise us is an umbrella. That whatever rain is here, I'll stand here with an umbrella and I'll help you. I'll give you shelter, right? When we read the Bhagavatam, you could think like the Bhagavatam is a little bit of a crisis manual, right? What to do in times of crisis. Because whenever you read a pastime, someone's in trouble. Someone did something they shouldn't have done. And, they're in trouble. And everyone is like, Krishna, please help me now, right? In the 7th canto, right, Hiranyakashipu is terrorizing the demigods. And they're going everywhere looking for help. And it's described there that the demigods were unable to find any other shelter. So at last they came and took shelter of Vishnu, like at last. They tried everywhere else first, then they came, right? Gajendra, right? He came, something went wrong, he took shelter of Krishna. Draupadi, she tried to hold her sari herself with her hands, nothing helped, tried everyone else, no one helped. Eventually, okay, Krishna, help me, right? So, if we're talking about shelter, then my question is, and it's obviously a question to myself, but maybe someone else will benefit from it. Why is it that we only take shelter in times of crisis? Why do we wait for crisis to take shelter? Crisis comes, we run under by Krishna's umbrella, and then when the rain stops, we kind of peek out and we're like, oh, it's okay, I'll go now, thanks. See you around, and we head off, right? I think I can do this by myself, Krishna, thanks. I'm going now, right? Why do we wait for some external circumstance to force us to take shelter, right? Because just in the very first half of this pastime, when Krishna is speaking this karma mimamsa philosophy, he already logically establishes why he is superior, why he is the best shelter, right? He says, Indra cannot change our destiny, so why should we take shelter of him? Krishna can change our destiny. Krishna changes our destiny every day. Krishna changes our karma. The more we serve, the more we surrender, the more we purify ourselves. Krishna changes things. So already, just in that one line, Krishna is superior. Why wouldn't we take shelter of someone who can change our destiny in that way, right? Krishna says that, Indra cannot change our conditioning. Our karma has done this to us. We have to work this way. This is the way we conditioned Baba. We have to live like this. But Krishna can raise us above our conditioning. So why wouldn't we take shelter of him, right? And that is the sum and substance of performing bhakti. That yes, your material conditioning is there. Your temporary material conditioning is there. But why should it define you in terms of your ability to practice bhakti, right? Because bhakti is not based on any temporary material bodily designation. Krishna is there to rise us above these things that even Indra can't change. So automatically, Krishna is the best shelter. We should take shelter of him, right? And when Krishna is speaking, he says that our home as forest dwellers, it's not in the city, it's not in the town, it's not in the village. We're forest dwellers. We live in the forest, Baba. We live in the hills. This is why we must worship Govardhan hill. So then this verse itself asks me the question, then what is shelter for me? What is shelter for all of us, right? In a Bhagavad Gita class in Bombay, Prabhupada is making this point, and he makes it in other lectures as well. He's paraphrasing Prahlad Maharaj. But he's saying that those of us in the material world, we have manufactured so many shelters. He uses the word manufactured, so it's like, really we've created it, right? It's not, manufactured means it's not natural in any way. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada is saying that we have manufactured so many shelters. So it's not natural. We have made these shelters to try and fit into in some way, right? And Prabhupada is paraphrasing Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj is basically saying that just because a child has parents, it doesn't mean that the child is protected. Having parents is no guarantee of protection for a child. Just as a drowning man can be drowning in the ocean, a lifeboat doesn't guarantee any safety, right? A sick patient having medicine, having a doctor, doesn't guarantee good health in any way. Prahlad Maharaj is saying this, Prabhupada is saying this, right? So we have created so many things in the world to be sheltered by, to be protected by in this way. But Prahlad Maharaj says that actually, Krishna, the only shelter is you. Why? Why is it you? Because you are the defining factor in everything. Because Krishna, if you are not here, then none of these other shelters hold any weight. They will not work. They will not protect us. A drowning man can die despite there being a lifeboat. A patient can die despite having doctor and a medicine. But you, Krishna, are the factor that makes all the difference in any scenario. So because of that, you are the defining and ultimate shelter. So as Krishna asks Nanda Maharaj that if one thing is sustaining our life, so if Krishna is sustaining my life, how can I take shelter of something else? How can I achieve, Krishna is asking the cowherd man, how will we achieve any benefit by doing this? If one thing sustains us but we turn to something else. That's stupid, And in that purport, the commentary is given that the residents of Vrindavan will never be happy by neglecting the real source of their prosperity and by worshipping Indra instead. So similarly, we can try and try and try and try again in as many lifetimes as we want to. but we'll never be satisfied unless we take shelter of what and who we're supposed to take shelter of. Who we know we're supposed to take shelter of, but we still try anyway to do it alone. But that's the thing about surrender and shelter, right? Is that we will only surrender, we will only take shelter when we feel protected, right? There is an element of trust that needs to be there. If you want me to surrender unto you, I need to trust you. I need to know that you won't take advantage of me. I need to know that I can be vulnerable. Otherwise, why would I trust you? Why would I surrender? Why would I submit to you in that way, right? So where there is trust, where there is safety, there will be shelter. And ultimately from that, there will be connection in that way. But in this day and age that we live in, connection is so hard. Even as devotees, connection is so hard because yes, we have our conditioning. We have our conditioning in so many ways, especially, you know, when you're in this environment and, you know, I don't want to say you say one thing, but life is one way, and when you walk out the door, life is a different way. It's the complete 360, you know, complete opposite of everything that happens inside of here. And it's so hard when you're fighting, right? The world is telling you, Maya is telling you, the material realm is telling you that you can do it alone. You can be independent. You don't need support. You know, you're strong enough on your own. You have inner resilience, you know, just lean into it. You can do it. Right? You don't need anyone, but we are not made for that in any way. Yes, as much as we have inner resilience, we're made for community, we're made for connection, we're made for shelter, right? We are made for these things, but the material energy pushes us into isolation in so many ways, right? We're following everyone else in the world who doesn't know what they're doing, right? We take shelter of so many distractions and things, and we think that we're okay, right? We take shelter, and then eventually you take shelter of your mind, right? But as Arjuna says, controlling the mind, it's easier to control the wind than to control the mind, right? But what makes all the difference? Krishna. Krishna is the defining factor which makes all the difference in the way we approach shelter, in the way we approach surrender, right? And for me, this first half of the pastime of Govardhan Puja is Krishna's challenge to us. Krishna is challenging us. Will you use your own challenges as an impetus to take shelter of me? Or will you try and, you know, swim through the storm that's coming? Or will you just take shelter of me, right? Srila Prabhupada says that taking shelter is a way of increasing love and a way of increasing attachment, right? But yes, we have to trust him. So do we trust Krishna enough, is the question that comes up from this pastime. Krishna is saying, do you trust me enough to take care of you? Even though, you know, it may look like the odds are not in our favor. There's a demigod trying to kill us, you know. Our home is completely destroyed. I'm a little 7-year-old boy, but do you trust me? Right? Do you trust me? And that's the thing. Krishna is so eager for us to trust him, to take shelter of him, to surrender. That's why, you know, you can worship Govardhan as Krishna himself. And yes, he is Krishna himself, but you can also worship him as a servant of Krishna. And both ways are correct. Krishna is so eager for us, he gives us so many options, right, to come to him. And he makes them all so easy, you know. The Yuga Dharma for this age is Harinam Sankirtan. Even if you chant it unknowingly, it's like, yes, I'm listening, I got you, right? Krishna is so eager for us to trust him, right? He comes as Govardhan. You can worship him either as Krishna or as a servant of Krishna, and there's evidence for both in our scriptures. Krishna himself says that he is non-different from Govardhan hill. When Lord Chaitanya went to Vrindavan, he took a little Govardhan Shila and he gave it to Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami asked him, who is this that you have given me? Lord Chaitanya says this is Krishna himself, right? So there's that evidence. And then there's the evidence for him being the devotees. The gopis describe Giriraj as the best among the hills of devotees, right? I think it's Rupa Goswami who writes about Govardhan Hill, and when he writes, he calls him Tata. Tata means grandfather, right? Or grandfather, or that respected elder in the community who is always there. So Rupa Goswami describes Govardhan Hill in that way. The Govardhan Hill is always there. He's been there forever, just giving nourishment and sustaining everyone in Govardhan. So he's like the grandfather of everyone, right? And Giriraj Swami, when he speaks about Govardhan Hill and Govardhan Puja, he often says that you could see that when he thinks of Govardhan Hill, he is reminded of Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya is the same. He is Krishna himself, but he is also the mood of a devotee. And Giriraj is the same way. So Krishna is showing us, right, that you can take shelter of me, you can take shelter of my devotees. Either will help you. But I'm here in all circumstances in both ways, right? Because Krishna is trying to increase our faith. It's okay if you don't have faith in me. You can have faith in my devotee and build yourself up in that way. It's okay if you don't trust the devotees. If you trust me, it's okay, right? But build it somewhere. Start your faith somewhere. Because that's what's going to carry us through when we have difficult decisions to make. Our faith, our surrender, that's what we have to lean into in that way. Because when we're faced with difficult situations, when it's in front of you, it's a really big thing that you have to work through, that you have to cross over. But as we know that when we take shelter of Krishna, all of these problems become the size of the hoofprint of a calf, and the devotee can just cross over them through Krishna's guidance, right? But that's hard in itself. Why? Because most of us are not born with a firm foundation of faith in any way. So to build something up, faith is something, we aspire to rise to that level. But that's why sometimes we need a special kind of life crisis to kickstart our surrender, our need for shelter, our faith, right? You think of Gajendra. Gajendra's faith could only bloom after he was stuck with the crocodile for 1,000 years. That was the life crisis that kickstarted his surrender. And sometimes we're like that. We need something to kickstart. But how many times do you need a kickstart as well? Because for Gajendra, that one encounter was enough for him to get it. It's like, okay, I need to take shelter of Krishna now. I need to depend on him and I need to surrender, right? So yes, Govardhan Puja, I feel, is Krishna's challenge to us. Krishna is telling us, do we really have faith that he will provide everything we need under the umbrella of his grace? Do we actually trust that everything is under his finger? And he lifts Govardhan Hill with the little finger of his left hand. It's the weaker hand. That's what he's telling us, that everything you face is weaker in comparison to me. I'm here, have some faith in me. So let us take shelter of Krishna. Let us take shelter of Govardhan Hill in this way. In Srila Prabhupada's final days when he was rounding up his pastimes on this earth, Prabhupada's final desire was to do Govardhan Parikram. His very last and final desire was to do Govardhan Parikram, and his disciples said, Prabhupada, you can't. Prabhupada's physically, he was so frail that his disciples said, Prabhupada, you'll die if we take you on this Parikram. Your body will not manage it. And Prabhupada said, what's the problem? It would be an honor to die while doing Govardhan Parikram. So even Prabhupada is saying, in his last days, we should, and you would think, Prabhupada, what need more is there for any shelter? But still, Prabhupada is saying, no, I must take shelter of Giriraj Govardhan. And that parikram didn't happen for different reasons. He appeased his disciples and didn't do it so they would be happy. But we don't understand already how protected and how sheltered we are. in so many ways, just by, even in some small way, turning to Krishna, right? We are so sheltered, and think about it, Govardhan is here. He's there on the altar, right? He's right there, smiling at us every morning, every evening, in a very, very sweet and sublime way, right? Govardhan has come here to give us shelter, you know. You have those people in life, and you're like, they're as solid as a rock, There, he's rock solid. He's right there. He's there. So Govardhan is that personality who gives shelter to everyone. If you think, in Vrindavan, whatever way you serve Krishna, whatever mellow of service you have with him, service, friendship, parental, conjugal, Govardhan is there through all of that. He can facilitate that in some way. So he is like the constant in everyone's service, giving shelter in that way. And even he gives shelter to Krishna, right? Who gives shelter to all of us in some way. Because Krishna plays and hides in his caves, has pastimes with the gopis, the gopas, the cows on Govardhan Hill. Govardhan Hill is providing for Krishna as Krishna provides for us in that way. If you look at the word Govardhan, right? Vardhan means nourishment. And go has many, many meanings. We obviously know it means cow. So, the one who provides nourishment to the cow, but it also means the gopis, it means the gopas, it means the Goswamis, and go also means senses. So he who provides nourishment to the senses in so many ways. So I will conclude with that let us take shelter of Govardhan, who provides nourishment to our senses, who provides nourishment to so many people in Vrindavan. Let us follow in their footsteps. So I will just conclude with a prayer that we offer to Giriraj when we do his puja in the morning as an invocation, that I offer my obeisances unto the King of Mountains, whose name is Govardhan. He destroys unlimited miseries and he bestows the highest bliss. Namaste Girirajaya Shri Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine. Namaste Girirajaya Shri Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine. Namaste Girirajaya Shri Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Yeah. You have a comment? No? Okay. No, we can conclude. In true Giriraj style, there's no fasting today. Giriraj doesn't require fasting. So there's breakfast being served, and the program starts again, 10, I think, from 10. So, yeah. Hare Krishna.